Hi teachers, today's Tuesday Tech Tip is part 2 of Google Classroom. So in the last video, we talked about how to create a class, how to invite students to join your class, and also how to share an assignment with your students. So today I'm going to go into one of my classrooms and just go over a couple more features that Classroom has to offer. I told you last time that I don't particularly like the stream option. I just feel like it can get really messy for the students and they can kind of get lost in it a little bit. The stream just simply shows the most recent thing that you've posted and a history of everything else that's been posted. So I always tell my students, skip the stream and go straight to classwork. Classwork is a little bit nicer to look at because you can organize things by topics, and it almost puts things into like a folders kind of view. So we talked about how to create an assignment last time. A couple of the other options you have, along with create an assignment, you can create a question. Now, this is a really neat way to almost give an online class discussion. So I'm going to type just a generic question here. What do you think the character will do next? And I can give my students additional instructions, like if I want to tell them how much they have to write or what kind of answer they're getting. I can give it to be worth a certain amount of points just by deleting that and typing in how much it's worth. I can also give it a due date. So let's say I want them to make sure they've answered this by Thursday at 10 o'clock a.m. And then topic. This is the same thing like how I've done some of the other things you saw. I can make this topic anything I want. It could be the story title. So if I'm going to add several assignments about this story, I could organize things by the story title. I could organize it by just what kind of material it is. So class questions or class discussion. And then down here, you have the option for them to answer with a short answer or multiple choice. I really like these options you can turn on and off. So this allows students to reply to each other, which is really neat. I used to do this when I taught 8th grade. We would discuss different things we were learning, and the students could build off of each other's answers and reply to each other. And then also this option, whether or not you want them to be able to go back and edit their answers. So you come down here, same options as with an assignment. You can ask it now, you can schedule it for later, or you can just save it as a draft. So I'm going to ask it now. And you can see my question pops up at the bottom of my stream. So the story title, and then I could add more questions to this by just coming back up here to create another question. And simply as I create it, tell it to store it under that same topic. One tip, I told you last time that I like the tip of numbering my assignments just so that the students don't get as confused when they're going through it. Another tip is to move it up. I like to move whatever I'm wanting them to do, I move it up to the top for them. And that's really easy. You just click on the 3 dots and you can move it up or move it down. So I always try to put whatever I'm doing next at the very top, just so it's easier for them to find. Another option within Create is just to share material. This is not giving them an assignment of any kind. It's just giving them either a document to look at from either an attachment or your drive, a video to watch, or a link to visit. So that's a pretty simple one. And then another really neat option is if you have multiple classrooms, you can reuse a post. So this is great for me because I teach I have many different classrooms. So if I want to send the same assignment that I've already shared with a different class, I can simply tell it what class. So that's what I was doing here. I go back to all my classes. So I want to share the same assignment with 5th grade that I shared with 4th grade. And I'm going to click on that assignment and just tell it to reuse. And it's going to do everything exactly how I set it up the first time, even right down to the topic, keyboard shortcut lessons. That was the topic I gave this. And then I just simply click assign. And now I didn't have to attach anything. I didn't have to relabel anything. Everything just went right back into this classroom the way that it did when I shared it before. And again, it's down here at the bottom. I could move it up to be at the top just by clicking the 3 dots and clicking move up. The final thing I want to point out under Create is just your ability to create those topics or those folders. So if you just click on Add Topic, you can put whatever kind of topic you want to have, you could go ahead and set those folders up without actually putting something in those folders right away. Let's go right here to these two icons. The first one is your Google Calendar. Any assignment that you put in Classroom that you give a due date to automatically syncs with your Google Calendar. So I have given two assignments, one in fourth grade that's due at 1 o'clock, and then one in fifth grade that was due at 10 o'clock. It's always going to go a minute before the due date. And that's just a way for you to even show the students a way that they can stay organized. Any assignment will automatically sync to their calendar. And you can see over here, every Google Classroom automatically makes a calendar within Google Calendar. So that's an easy way that you can see what's coming up and they can also see it. The option right beside calendar, every Google Classroom automatically makes a folder on your drive as well. You may or may not be aware, but it does this for the students and for the teacher. So I can go into my Classroom drive folder. So it automatically created that for me when I set up my Classroom, and I can see the different things that I've put into this particular class. It also will allow me, once it fully loads, it'll allow me to look at all my other classes. And it's really nice as a teacher because, so this is the classroom I'm currently in, but if I just come back to my Google Classroom folder on Drive, I can see all of the classes that I have, and it's an easy place for me to find all of those assignments that have been turned in. So I'm going to actually go back to like last year. And so if I open up and assign the folder from last year, you should be able to see some of the assignments that were turned in. So like I can go to this assignment that we did with our tech buddies, and then, well, there's nothing there, but you get the idea. You can go into the actual assignment, and all of those assignments will be right there in your folder in one place. Kind of easy to find and easy to see. Let's see if there's something in this one. So that's just another, so you can see these are all the assignments that were turned in, and so I've got them all organized in one spot. So that's something that you may or may not have known that Google Classroom automatically does. It automatically creates a folder in your Google Drive. One more thing I want to go over is under People. And I mentioned last time that you can invite guardians. So the same way that we had our students join, and now that I have students in my class, I can see all of those students' names. Beside each student, I have the option to invite a guardian. Now, when you invite a guardian, you do have to do this one child at a time, and this is the only way you can invite a guardian. You have to click Invite Guardian, and then you enter that parent's email address. That will send an invitation to the parent, and they have to actually accept it. But the best part about inviting a guardian is that it will send them, and I went ahead and pulled this up just so you can see it. It will send the parent a weekly or daily summary for their child. So this is what it looks like. The parent will get an email that'll say weekly summary for their child, and it'll give you the dates. And then it'll tell them any missing work that their child has that wasn't turned in, any work that's coming up that might be due in the future. It'll tell them activity from the past, so from previous weeks. And it's just an easy way for that parent to kind of see what's going on, what assignments their child is missing or that they're doing. If you use Google Classroom a lot, this is probably a good option just to keep parents involved. So that's a little bit more about Classroom. If you have any specific questions, send Mrs. Landis or myself an email. We are happy to help. Like I said last time, I think Classroom is just a great way to stay organized. It is literally how I start every single class. I say log in, go to Google Classroom. So we hope that you can use Classroom to keep your class organized too. Thanks for watching. Have a good week.